Hi everyone, welcome back to Class Ninjas. Today we're going to be going over question 1 of the Fractions Worksheet 1. Okay, so the question was, in a 100-person battle royale, what fraction of players are left when A. 40 players have been eliminated, B. 75 players have been eliminated, and C. 95 players have been eliminated. And there was also the extension of could you write each of these fractions in their simplest form. Okay, so in this context, I think it's good to think of a fraction as a certain number, the numerator, out of the original number or the denominator, where the line in between represents the out of. Now, because it's asking how many are left, the denominator will be 100 because that's how many players we started with. Then for each part of the question, the numerator will be how many players are actually left, so that the fraction is how many players are left out of that original. So for A, the numerator will be how many players are left after 40 have been eliminated. So 100 minus 40, which is 60. So the fraction is 60 out of 100. Then for B, it will be 100 minus 75 for the numerator, which is 25. So the fraction is 25 out of 100. Then for C, it will be 100 minus 95 for the numerator, which is 5. So the fraction will be 5 out of 100. Okay, now for the extension. Now the key thing to remember is that a fraction is in its simplest form when the numerator and denominator are as small as they possibly can be without changing the meaning of the fraction. For example, 2 out of 4 means a half, and 1 out of 2 also means a half, but 1 out of 2 is the simpler form. Now to simplify fractions when it's not always obvious, you divide both the numerator and denominator by the same number. And now there are two possible ways to do this to get it into its simplest form. You could either keep dividing both by different numbers until you can't divide it any longer and it's in its simplest form, or you can divide both the top number and the bottom number, the numerator and the denominator, by the highest common factor of the two. Now if you don't know what a highest common factor is or how to find it, you may want to look at our video on it first. Before this, I'm going to be using the highest common factors approach. Okay, so for A, the highest common factor of 60 and 100 is 20. So I divide the numerator by 20 and I would divide the denominator by 20 to give 3/5, or 3 out of 5, as the simplest form of the fraction. Then for B, the highest common factor is 25, so I'm going to divide the numerator by 25 and then the denominator by 25 to give 1 out of 4, or a quarter, as the fraction in its simplest form. And then finally for C, the highest common factor of 5 and 100 is 5, so I'm going to divide the numerator by 5 and the denominator by 5 to give 1 out of 20, or 1/20th, for the fraction in its simplest form. And that's the answers to all of the questions. For more resources, check out the Class Ninjas app, YouTube, and any of the other socials.